before we get carried away, I just want to sort of circle back to South African involvement in the Champions Cup, because I think it probably is worth outlining the trajectory it was on and now is. In the first 2 years, South African teams, did not lose home games. That's maybe indicative of an issue as well in terms of the impact, because obviously none of them made a semi-final at any point. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm thinking back to 22. Anyway, they didn't lose home games, and they had a points difference of 27 points for, 35 against on average, to 26 for, 32 against for the Bulls and the Stormers, and that was moving up. This year has been a total capitulation of that, to the point where everyone and your granddad is speaking out against it. Antoine Dupont is questioning if it makes sense, and if he questions it, then best believe France listen. Where do we actually go from here? Because I think this is probably, this is 3 years now, to the point where if it's not improving now, will it? If not, change has to be made. So what is the change now?
Well, I don't see that being members of the URC and competing in that, which I think over a season makes a little bit more sense. You can do these travel blocks that Nick was talking about, and vice versa. The incoming team to South Africa can clock off 2 or 3 matches down there. I don't see why participation in that automatically means you get to enter the European Cup.
Yeah,
I just don't see that. It doesn't have to be. And if they don't want to be in it, and if there's no mileage in it, don't do it. You can be in the URC, go and do something else during the European Cup weekend.
I mean, look,
if the box players are overplayed, enjoy the rest.
Yeah.
I think that one of the issues is that the European Cup is now, all these competitions are ruled by broadcast money. So Supersport in South Africa, I think, bring quite a lot to the broadcast, table one way or the other. And I just, but if the crowds and if the broadcast numbers in South Africa don't hold up, you can rest assured that they will, the broadcasters will start looking around for a new solution. Now, the one that we've heard about, which is the one that concerns me most, is the idea that the European Cup every 4th year will become a sort of staging post for qualification for a World Club Championship.
Yeah.
And because that would be the real death knell of the European Cup as the jewel in the crown of European club rugby. So, yeah, I mean, I do think that the South African nettle has to be grasped. I don't know that cutting them adrift in terms of their role in the game going forward, having made a commitment to them, whether it was the right commitment or the wrong, is the right thing to do now. I don't think that there's much more appetite in South Africa for them to go back into what is a super rugby mishmash at the moment, which is also, in many respects, if not dying on its feet, certainly not getting people particularly energized. So it's a difficult one, very difficult indeed.